Today we're diving into The Woman in Cabin 10, Netflix's moody, yacht-flavored mystery that has the internet arguing harder than a Marvel subreddit after a bad finale. Some people call it a perfectly fine background movie, others unrefined dog shit. And book readers, oh boy, they're carrying torches and pitchforks like it's The Last of Us Part 2 all over again. So, what is this movie actually doing? Is it a fun weekend thriller you can fold laundry to, or a butchered adaptation full of plot holes, coincidences, and decisions that make you yell at the TV like you're coaching a football team? Today, we're using fan reactions, the hottest scenes, and the most unhinged plot moments to break it all down. Let's get into it.
Why would you be targeted?
To kill me, to silence me.
If you're new to the premise, here's your 30-second crash course. Keira Knightley plays Lo Blacklock, a journalist invited onto a billionaire's hyper-luxury yacht, the kind of place where champagne pours all night and the Wi-Fi probably costs $600 a minute. The movie makes the most of that setting. Everything looks expensive, curated, and isolated. The entire design of the ship and the cinematography shows that this is a confined environment, where appearances matter and secrets are easy to hide. The setup is simple. One night, Lo believes she hears a violent struggle in the cabin next to hers. She believes she sees a body or, at minimum, a figure falling into the water. She freaks out, reports it, tries to raise hell, but everyone on board insists the cabin is empty, telling her there is no woman, no evidence of disturbance. This immediately positions Lo as the lone, incessant voice in an environment that dismisses her concerns. This adaptation leans heavily toward being a polished, easy-to-follow mystery rather than a deeply layered psychological thriller. It wants to be atmospheric and tense, but also accessible. If you go into it expecting something on the level of Gone Girl, Sharp Objects, or even its own source material, expectations won't match what the movie is built to deliver. It's designed as a clean, simple, visually attractive thriller, something you can watch without having to track a complex web of clues.
Ready? Cute.
Casual viewers tend to describe it as fine, not groundbreaking, not terrible, just a good atmospheric thriller that keeps your attention for a couple of hours. They're not picking apart plot mechanics or character arcs, so they enjoy the vibe more than the structure. More critical moviegoers have a mixed experience. They notice the pacing issues, the moments that don't quite line up, and the scenes that move too quickly to feel believable. For them, the movie doesn't maintain tension consistently and doesn't land its ending strongly enough to feel complete. Then there are the book readers, who are easily the harshest critics. The film eliminates several key psychological elements, softens morally complex characters, and simplifies the plot. Lo's internal tension, her trauma, and the unreliable narration that make the book gripping are not in the film. For this audience, the story loses depth and stakes, and the adaptation feels flattened. That's why the book reading audience in particular rates the movie so low. So overall, the general consensus is split. Casual viewers think it's perfectly watchable. Film fans think it's uneven. Book fans think it misses the point. And that combination creates the polarized discussion the movie is getting.
Laura here's an award-winning journalist. She's doing a piece for us on the Foundation.
Despite criticism, the movie has notable strengths. Its atmosphere is the clearest asset. The yacht's isolated setting, the expansive ocean views, and the carefully crafted interiors generate suspense without requiring elaborate plot devices. The visual mood is consistent, and cinematography often conveys tension effectively through framing and lighting. Keira Knightley anchors the film, bringing a grounded performance that offsets moments where the writing is thin. The supporting cast also contributes solid performances, helping the story maintain credibility even when the plot shortcuts some psychological detail. The narrative remains accessible, making it easy for viewers to follow events without feeling lost. There is no complex puzzle to unravel. The story moves logically from incident to investigation to resolution. For viewers who prefer clarity and style over complexity, this works in the film's favor.
Why would you be targeted?
To kill me, to silence me.
The film's weakness becomes most noticeable in the second half. The final act crams critical events into a short stretch, turning what should feel tense and climactic into something rushed. Moments that should build suspense instead arrive too quickly, lowering their impact. The story relies on too many favors from the viewer, asking us to overlook the convenient gala disguise. the documents surviving in the most impossible ways, and those just-in-time escapes. Individually, they might not break the story, but together, they make the story feel shaky. Character depth also takes a hit. Lo's inner doubts and psychological complexity central to the book are mostly not there. Her actions often feel reactive rather than motivated, making it harder for viewers to fully invest and lowering the stakes, especially for those who are familiar with the novel. The scenes of confrontation and confinement are so brief that without the proper build-up, the tension doesn't land, and sequences meant to grip the audience come across as rushed, leaving that suspense flatter than intended. The most noticeable differences between the book and the film come down to character and story simplification. Several supporting characters are trimmed or reshaped, and certain plot threads are either condensed or removed entirely to fit a shorter runtime. Carrie, for instance, is portrayed as far more sympathetic on screen. In the book, her moral ambiguity creates suspense, keeping readers guessing about her true intentions. The movie leans into a cleaner version of her character, removing some of that uncertainty and sharpening the focus on the central mystery. Other minor characters are also simplified, reducing the web of suspicion that made the novel feel layered and complex. The ending is another point of difference. The ending is notably different from the book. While the book leaves certain questions lingering with a more open ending, the film opts for a more decisive resolution. It resolves the conflict in a straightforward way, giving closure to the mystery but removing the ambiguity that made the original story compelling.
Nothing to be embarrassed about, Laura. You were convinced what you saw was real?
It was real.
This film isn't trying to reinvent the thriller, it's just delivering a polished, atmospheric ride by keeping the action tightly confined to the luxury yacht and a small cast. The story stays crystal clear, allowing for viscerally stunning visuals and effortlessly smooth plotting. While it might feel too conventional for those craving deep, morally complex thrills, it perfectly hits the sweet spot for a Friday night suspense fix, with its focused runtime and emphasis on immediate tension. It's a reflection of the kind of fast-paced mystery that dominates streaming today.
I'm Richard. So pleased to have you with us.
Thank you.
Whether The Woman in Cabin 10 is worth watching depends on what you want from it. Fans of the book may notice the simplifications, reshaped characters, and a different ending, which removes some of the ambiguity and moral complexity that made the novel interesting. For viewers looking for a visually pleasing, easy-to-follow thriller, the film delivers. Its suspenseful moments, striking cinematography, and contained story make it perfect for a relaxed weekend watch. The adaptation also offers an interesting look at how a story can be streamlined for screen. While it loses some of the book's depth, it emphasizes clarity, atmosphere, and pacing, giving audiences a sleek mystery that's satisfying if you prioritize style over psychological complexity.